And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I'm so excited to welcome back to the show the incredible Alex Finlay, here to give us the inside scoop on his brand new book, What Have We Done? Alex, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back. It's great to be here again, and always great to see you, Sara. What's the book about? 25 years ago, a group of teenagers are the best of friends, and it's a bond forged from their time at this abusive foster care home for parentless teens. And they ultimately they're split up because the group home is shut down, and they haven't seen each other in decades. And they're reunited for really a single haunting reason. Someone is killing them off one by one. So that's the setup.
That is the setup. And just like that, Alex Finlay hooks us good the way that only Alex Finlay can. Well, I can't wait to hear all about this book and where you got this crazy idea, how you keep those pages flying, all the secrets to the recipe to success. But first, I just want to welcome everyone who is watching with us live and everyone who will watch with us later. So welcome, Mystery and Thriller fam. If you've been here before, you know the drill. Every Monday for hashtag Mystery Monday, because Mondays can be murder, I give you my handpicked featured authors and you get to ask them anything. So ask Alex about these crazy characters. Ask him about this plot. Is it just me or is this reading like a TV show? We have so much to talk about. And you guys, I'm so excited because we have signed books. So my partner in crime, pun intended, Murder by the Book, has signed books available by Alex. I don't need to tell you, signed books make the best gifts. So I'm going to give you that link and you can order this fabulous book. We have a mystery user saying, greetings from Northeast Ohio. Hello, mystery friend. Welcome to the show. Hey, Lynn, joining us from Philadelphia, my stomping grounds. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to the conversation. Catch a Clue, aka Wendy, saying, hi, Sara and Alex. So looking forward to your new book. Hi, Wendy. Always a pleasure to have your name pop up. Hi, Renee. She's saying, hi, Sara and Alex from Southeast Florida. Renee, welcome to the conversation. Barbara's joining us from San Diego. Hey, Barbara. Renee is saying she loves her some signed books. I mean, Renee, right? There's just something extra special about those. Amanda's joining us from Maine. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to the conversation. All right, y'all, you know how this works. If you got your questions for Alex, get them going in the comments and I will get them right over to him. Meanwhile, I've got a few, I want to kick off with some of this amazing praise. So Publishers Weekly awarded you a starred review, Alex. So first of all, congratulations on that. And they raved that this is, quote, a top-notch mystery thriller. So can you tell us, I mean, this is not your first rodeo. What's the secret to writing a top-notch mystery thriller that gets a starred review from PW?
Yeah, well, I wish I had the secret. I'm still looking for it myself. But, yeah, it was that. I was very pleased because the trades reviews, you never know, particularly with me. And this is a much more action-packed book than the last two. So I was holding my breath because, you never know if readers who were like the slower burn of the last books are going to connect with what I intentionally made a much more kind of edge of your seat, move, as fast as you can, action type book this time, which I tried to incorporate the same things that I think readers expect from me, which is multi-perspective characters and all of that. But this time I wanted to just try something different.
Well, it seems to be working, Alex, because the praise has been lit. See what I did there? And the questions are already coming in. I can't wait to get over them. First, we have a mystery user saying, hi, all. Hi, friend. Welcome to the conversation. Renee is congratulating you on that fabulous praise. Randy's joining us from Indiana. Hello, Randy. Welcome to the conversation. And Wendy wants to know, Alex, where did this idea for this book come from? Because this is crazy. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier for me to pinpoint the ideas. For my last book, The Night Shift, I had a really easy answer for that one because I just remember where the idea came from. This one was more of a process. I don't know about you, Sara, like the ideas for me, they start off with, something I think about over here, and then maybe another month, I think I see something here. And ultimately, like, things kind of congeal until there's a what if or a premise. And for this one, The best I could come up with is I was reading a lot of Malcolm Gladwell. I don't know if you've read any of his work, but he does nonfiction, these great, interesting social science type books that delve into all really neat questions, and he ties it. He's a great storyteller as well. And some of the themes in his books are about people. Sometimes people who have what seem to be all the disadvantages turn out to that turns out to be what they needed to be super successful. And sometimes people with all the advantages in the world, at some point, the more advantages turns out to be a detriment to them. And so that was like the idea. And then I like this something about having kids who and it's an on-running theme of my books, kids who have trauma, overcoming it. And here I thought, all right, well, I'll have this group of kids who experience something. They're split up, and then they'll come back together for a reason. But I wanted them to be overcome the trauma and each really become uber successful adults, but still have all the baggage and stuff from when they were kids. And so that's kind of where the initial idea came up with. So I have this cast of my point of view characters are an aging rock star who was like big in the 80s and now is playing cruise ships, and that's more of my wannabe musician in me that I want to I have a reality TV show producer who follows around. They have produces a show that follows around coal miners, and that I got that idea because my friend, an old friend of mine, is the TV producer of the show called Gold Rush on all the cable shows, and he follows around gold miners, and so I had access to somebody who could give me some insights into that world. And then I had, what seems to be a regular stay-home stepmom in an affluent DC community, but has this real secret past that I thought was, kind of a nod to some of my favorite Jason Bourne, Nikita type stories. And so those three characters come together. You learn about them when they were kids, and you follow them as adults, as they don't really even see each other until well past midpoint of the book.
Ooh. Well, catch a clue. Wendy, thank you so much for that great question. And Alex, it's so great to hear the backstory of this story. I had no idea because I kept thinking to myself, why coal mines? Because that is so crazy to be down there in that coal mine. And it's so cool to know that that comes from your friend who follows gold miners. That I did not see that coming, Alex.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, I have my favorite coal mine story is I'm terrible at research, but with the character who goes to coal, who's in coal mines, a TV producer, I thought I better coal mining is, I've learned, and I knew, but I learned so much more about what a dangerous job it is and how hard coal miners work and their families, and they're on this tightrope every time their loved one goes into work, basically. So I decided that I better do the research right on this one. So I contacted the University of West Virginia, which has this great coal mining safety program that trains people to rescue people who are in coal mine disasters and does all kinds of training. But the only day they could meet with me was on my 30th wedding anniversary. So my wife and I, go up to West Virginia, and so we spent our big 3-0, in a coal mine, near a coal mine in West Virginia. So she's still.
Alex, was your wife expecting that the coal mine might compress her a diamond or something? Because that is one good one.
She was sorely disappointed, but it was in the pandemic. So in my defense, we had other plans, but this turned into a research trip. But I will say, I've said this before, I listen to the audiobook before I go on tour for every book, because it gets my head back into the story, because I've been working on another book for, a year. And every time my wife and I were listening to it, and every time the coal mine, scene or something on the coal mine comes on, her jaw just clenches just a little bit.
Yeah, her jaw clenches like she's compressing a diamond between her teeth.
Exactly.
She points. She's like, "What is this finger not wearing that it should be wearing?"
Exactly.
Oh my God, Wendy, thanks for asking that question, because we just got the inside scoop on where Alex Finlay spent his 30th wedding anniversary, which was in a coal mine. And I'm going to remember that story for a while.
Yeah, my wife will, and she will remind me of it. So.
I love it. Oh, hey, Nikki Miracle. Nikki Miracle's in the audience. So Nikki is an amazing bookstagrammer. She is at Graciously Booked. I'm going to pop her her link right in here. And she says she loved your The Night Shift, your last book, Alex. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. High praise from Nikki. I've heard a lot about Nikki and follow her, and that's always love to hear that. The Night Shift was, for those of you who've read it, it was a rushed endeavor for me because I'd written a whole other book. Well, after I wrote, I had Every Last Fear was my first Alex Finlay book, and I felt a lot of pressure after that book, and I wrote a whole nother book. And I just knew my deadline was coming up, and I just knew it was not a worthy follow up. And so I wrote, I talked to my agent, and then my editor, and everyone agreed that they could give me some leeway a little bit on the deadline. But I wrote The Night Shift in about 3 months, and it just flowed, and I was happy it turned out because I've since went back and looked at it, and I'm happy with how it turned out.
Well, so are we, Alex. Thank you for letting us know that. Nikki, thanks for joining us. So great to have you here. Renee would like to know, Alex, did you know the ending of What Have We Done before you wrote the story, or did the characters help to get you to this ending?
Yeah, the character for me, I wish I was one of these writers because it would be so much more efficient who knew the ending, before they began the journey. But it just never happens for me, and it's always me struggling, the characters helping me find my way, and so it's the same with this one. And it's usually about halfway through where it starts to come together for me, and then slowly I just have that, okay, this is where it's going to be, and I have to just go with it. So yes, I'm not a know what the ending is person right away, but it comes to me along the way.
Very cool. I didn't know that about you. So, Renee, thank you for the great question. Alex, thank you for that answer. Y'all, have I mentioned that we have signed books? So, I'm thinking Mother's Day is coming up, birthdays. You got to think ahead. I stockpile signed books all year round, and then I give them out for every holiday and birthday gift. So here is that link to our favorite woman-owned bookstore, which has signed copies, y'all. So here is that link. No matter where you're watching from, you can click and get your signed copy of Alex's book. And that is such a special gift so that you can immerse yourself in this world. You're going to love it. So here you go. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Oh my goodness, we have so many great questions. You guys, I can't wait to get to every single one of them. Okay. Rosa, welcome to the conversation. Always a pleasure to see you pop up. She says she loves all of your books, Alex.
Oh, thank you.
Aren't they so great, Rosa? They're so great. Barbara, welcome to the conversation. She says, I enjoy edge of your seat, fast paced books. She also enjoys Malcolm Gladwell's books. Well, Barbara, if you like fast paced books, because let me tell you, I think this is maybe the fastest paced book I've ever read. I mean, I was thinking to myself, I wish I could do this because these pages freaking fly by. I mean, like the wind. So I think you will enjoy this. Ooh, Mr. User would like to know, Alex, how do you learn the art of writing interesting characters, character development, appealing plot, and pacing, in addition to learning how to structure your story? Great question. Let's get into craft.
Yeah, it's a great question. To loop back to Malcolm Gladwell, it's, I did my 10,000 hours of practice, and it's, I think there's nothing that is better training ground than doing, and just, if you're not writing, you're not learning. But I will say there were some things I could have done earlier on about learning the craft that would have, I think, made things go a lot faster for me. One of them is, going to classes. There's just a lot of available classes now, particularly if you're in the thriller mystery genre. If you go to Thriller Fest in New York, there's a full week where you can learn the craft of writing a thriller mystery from some of the biggest names in the business. And I hadn't, I didn't really do that. I'm a lawyer, and I thought, oh, I can write, I write for a living. I write briefs. I'm an appellate lawyer, and that'll translate. And to some degree, the mechanics of writing do. I mean, and I wrote a lot in my law practice. And some of that carries over. Like I'm a very, if you read my work, I'm no frills. You're not going to get a beautiful sentence out of me, but you're going to get short, punchy, move the story along kind of prose. And that's what I use in my law practice. But there are a lot of things that I didn't know and that I learned from really great writers. And then a lot of it's just by doing. So my advice for anyone trying at the beginning of this journey is to, sit down, write, read, because if you don't read, you're never going to be a writer, in my view. And then, if you can take advantage of courses, and it's not just Thriller Fest, because it is an expensive kind of endeavor, but there are courses, authors come, travel throughout the country and do tell what works for them, and you'll always learn something. Every time I go to another writer's class, I learned something.
Ooh, it just occurs to me, Alex, that you describe yourself as you said, no frills. I feel like we should call you No Frills, All Thrills. I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt
I'll
for you.
take it. Yeah.
That's your new nickname.
No
You're
frills,
no
I'll take it. That's
frills.
better than other things I've been called. So I will take that.
You're gonna be No Frills, All Thrills, Alex in my phone book from now on. All right, No Frills, All Thrills, Alex. So Alex just mentioned a fabulous Thriller Fest. So you guys, I just pulled that link for you. So here's the link to Thriller Fest. So this is the premier conference for thriller enthusiasts. So if you are a writer or an aspiring writer and you're looking to master your craft, they have master classes, they have craft workshops about the craft of writing and the business of publishing. This is the place to be. Alex, are you going to be there?
I will be there. I don't miss it. I've gone every year for, I don't know, 10 years. They had a gap during the pandemic, obviously, but it is if there's one kind of festival or conference I go to, this is the one. And it helps so many writers, and there's so many great success stories. And really for me, I came to this, writing later. I'd already had a full law career. And one of the joys of becoming an author for me has been to be part of this community that's like super, and Sara, it's super supportive. We're all technically competitors of each other. Every time, somebody buys my book, they may not be buying somebody else's, or vice versa. But I have found that the thriller and mystery writing community is the most supportive group of people, and just fun, in addition to being really decent and fun people.
Yeah. And actually, Alex, it's interesting that you say that, because I've transitioned over from some other genres. And at first, I honestly couldn't quite believe how nice everyone is over here, because on the page, y'all are slaughtering people in really gruesome ways sometimes. So I was like, they're going to be really cutthroat, pun intended, over here. But actually, counterintuitively, it's the nicest group of people. And my theory is because we have the best group of readers, and because mystery readers we're reading fast-paced books, so we're able to read books faster. So there isn't that false sense of scarcity of like, I'm only going to buy one book this year. So which book is it going to be? Alex's or Sarah's, or, Karen or Lisa's? No, we're going to buy all of the books because they're all so good and they're all so fast. So I think that contributes to this sort of sense of we're all in this together.
Yeah. And I think that, to that point, it's like the other real great thing for me is like getting to know readers. And what it's an obvious thing, but studies show it. Readers are smarter. The people who read a lot are more empathetic. And, so it's this great community of supportive writers. I get to meet great readers across the country. And it's truly been one of the joys of my life.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So I will be at Thriller Fest too, y'all. I'll be conducting interviews in the interrogation room. So if anyone buys a ticket, come hang out with me in the interrogation room. Alex, come by. I'll interview you there. You guys, we can grill Alex up real good in the interrogation room. We just put the screws to him and just, sizzle out every single secret that he has. Margaret joining us live from Portland saying, when choosing between mystery novels, the answer is always both. Amen, Margaret. I totally agree. Well said. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have so many great comments. We're going to get to all of them. Thank you guys so much. Renee is saying, that is such great advice, Alex. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that inside scoop, Alex. I appreciate that, and we all do. Okay, let's get back to some of these amazing questions. We're going to dive on in. Okay, where were we? Oh, Renee wants to know what musical. Okay, so you referenced that your aging rock star last seen playing on a cruise ship
Right.
taps into your wannabe musician. What instruments do you play, Alex?
I play several instruments, but I play guitar, and I was, believe it or not, in the 80s and 90s. I had you wouldn't guess now, but I had very long hair and was in a band not unlike my character Donnie Danger's band in What
What?
Have We Done? So I got to live vicariously. And the fun thing was to research for this character. He's kind of a Southern rocker, who still has all the vices he might have had when he was 20, and he's 40 now. But I got to meet with a band I loved when I was younger, and who are playing, they're having a resurgence. They play, big Legends of Rock cruises and do all these things. Yeah, so that was really fun. I should clarify though, they are not living the life that my character is of debauchery. They're actually, pretty much, they have kids and in college, and they're kind of responsible adults, but have this unique job. So it was a lot of fun.
Wait, so you play guitar and what else?
Oh, I play bass and I play, piano and but I'm not very good at any of them. Let's not let me not mislead anyone. But I was in bands when I was in high school and college, and I thought that was going to be my destiny, and it's really what led me to writing, because when I stopped playing, I needed a creative outlet, and it just led me to thinking about writing stories, and that's kind of how this whole thing started.
Wait, did you also sing?
Not well, but I did do some of that.
Okay, so are you going to sing today or at Thriller Fest?
No, no one would want to experience that, particularly now. But even back then, they probably would be a little, At some point, I realized in our band, and all my bandmates kind of had the same realization at the same time, is like, we're not good enough to make a living at this, so we need to figure out what we're going to do.
Okay, anyone who buys the tickets tonight to Thriller Fest, Alex is going to bring his guitar and serenade you at Thriller Fest.
I'm not
The
there's
song
a
of your
lot of
choice.
there are a lot of wannabe musicians at Thriller Fest, right? And not someone not wannabe. Lee Child plays guitar. Like, there's a lot of real good musicians there.
That's true. That's true. Renee says that sounds like fun, Alex. I totally agree. I want to hang out with Alex and his band. She wants to know, where did your band play, Alex? Yeah, were you playing cruise ships? Oh my God, are you Donnie Dangerous?
No, I'm not Donnie Dangerous, but we were playing, nightclubs and places like that. It was a fun few years, but we were definitely not destined for greatness.
Oh my God. Okay. So you guys, hashtag no frills, hashtag all thrills Alex has become multi-musical, hashtag multi-musical Alex's. The nicknames just keep coming. I'm so excited to see you at Thriller Fest. I'm going to make you sing to me, or at least play the guitar.
Yeah. Well,
oh my God, I love it.
Maybe after a few drinks, but it's not going to be pretty if it happens.
But maybe it'll just be like fabulous and loud. We can have like a dance party. Yeah. Okay. This is so great. We have another question. A respected reviewer I know said this book reminded her of Greg Hurwitz's Orphan X. Is he an author you are inspired by?
Yeah, I actually, in my acknowledgement page, there is a character, what I want to give away. There is a character that, as I mentioned before, is inspired by Jason Bourne, Nikita, and Orphan X. I'm a huge Greg Hurwitz fan and the Orphan X fan. So there's a nod to him. I hope, your friend didn't think I was just totally ripping him off, but I was an inspiration type thing with me for one of the characters in this book. And really the character that unsurprisingly drives the action. I think she's a lot different than Orphan X, but there are some similarities to this kind of trope about a young person being taken and having no parents and becoming someone who does bad things things for government organization.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Margaret says, doesn't everyone have a favorite coal mine story? I did
Yeah.
not, and now I'm kind of feeling like a loser.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, well, it's. I mean, I make light of it, but it was really. I really have this respect for these, people who make this. It's often multi generational, and
Yes.
it is, and
It's a hard
whatever the
living.
politics about coal and all that. This is how it's still out there, and it's still an important part of the economy, and they really just put their lives at risk. And I was really impressed, and just the people I met with who kind of helped me kind of understand. And there's not a lot of coal mine scenes in the book, so if anybody's thinking that, but there are a couple. But
Here's me with
I
my
wanted
kid.
to just I didn't want to I wanted to respect that piece of it, even though it's a thriller and it's over the top and all of that. I still wanted to kind of recognize that, and there's just and just the nicest people you could meet.
And there's not a ton of coal mine scenes, but those coal mine scenes are pivotal. So those are very important scenes. Currently reading what have we done? Ooh, let us know what you're thinking about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Julie, welcome to the conversation. She says, congratulations on being married for 30 years. Yeah, and congratulations on surviving, taking your
Yeah,
wife to the coal
no
mine
kidding.
for your
The
30th anniversary.
congratulations should go to my wife for having to be married to me for 30 years, but
Yeah. Alex's wife writes a book about a man who took his wife to a coal mine for her anniversary, and
yeah,
she killed
and he
him
disappeared.
with a
The
coal
author
pick.
the author disappeared afterwards.
Yeah, he never came out of the coal mine.
No, it's
Um, Renee
possible.
wants to know: did your wife like your adventure in the coal mine for your 30th anniversary, or was she clenching?
I think I mean, she's super supportive of the books and everything. Would it have been her first choice? Probably not. But she's a good sport, and she puts up with that and many more things being married to me.
Yay! Alex, who are some of your favorite authors?
Oh, I hate this question. You know this, Sarah, because you know so many authors, and I'll leave somebody out.
Well, you just said Greg Hurwitz, so we'll start
Yeah,
there.
Greg Hurwitz. Yeah, this thriller. The thing is it is, I think, just this point in fiction and thriller and mystery where we not only have these kind of iconic writers that everybody knows outside of the thriller world, but we have this emerging group of newer voices, more diverse voices. And so it's hard. I mean, I'm just a huge reader. You can look at my bookshelf behind me. Every book on there is a thriller or a mystery. So I can tell you that the books I've read recently, it's easier to say that than the favorite books. I just picked up William Landay's new book, the author of Defending Jacob, and he had a big gap between books. I'm looking, as soon as I get my book done into my editor, which is a deadline that is roaring at me in a frightening way, I'm going to crack open that book. But I always like Jennifer Hillier books. I the most reading I've done lately because of my deadline is more for blurbs. Sarah Pekkanen, it's got a new one coming out. It's amazing.
Ooh, yes. I
Uh,
just read that. I
yeah,
just read that. That's so
yeah,
good.
she's just great across the board. And this will be her solo effort. She had been doing books with Greer Hendricks, amazing immediate bestsellers. And I think this is one of her best. I think of what else. Geneva Rose, I just read her new thriller for a blurb, and it was great. And gosh, there's so many. My wife is a huge reader. She's either reading or listening to a book. It's at least 2 or 3 a week, and so she tends to be my first screener and recommends the next big titles for me. But I'm of course drawing a blank right now on.
That's a great no, you gave us Geneva Rose, Jennifer Hillier, William Landay, and Greg Hurwitz. That is a good list. Thank you for that. And thank you for the wonderful question. These questions are
Yeah,
so good, you guys.
right.
Thank you. Wendy saying she loved the night shift as well. Absolutely. Julie saying she loved the shift too, even though it made her cry, tugging
That's
on
my
those
gold
heart.
star. I don't know you, Sarah. If that's for me, if I can make somebody cry, I feel like that's the pivotal thing for me to feel like I did my job. And all my books, I'm hopeful to get the tears, but so thank you for saying that.
Alex, hence to be known for this, Alex Finlay, likes to make people
I like to
cry.
make people cry. Yeah.
Likes to make readers cry. We're gonna add that to your resume there, Alex. Julie, thank you for making Alex's night, sharing that he did tug those heartstrings as well as keep the pages flying. Renee saying she loved The Night Shift. Also, she said it's a wonderful book and it is amazing that you wrote it in only 3 months. Right, Renee? I was shocked to hear that too. Oh, and she's saying thank you for the link to Thriller Fest. Oh my gosh, Renee, my pleasure. It would be wonderful to have everyone join us there. She'd like to know, Alex, what are you writing now? You referenced something you're working on, and when should we expect it to be available? Give us the scoop.
Yeah. So next year, I'm a, those of you who don't follow the ins and outs of publishing, usually we finish the book almost a year or so before it comes out. And so I have a book due to my editor in May. It'll come out, I think, in somewhere between March and June of next year, that I've been working on. And it's always a struggle. Every book, you just you throw yourself into it, and you have no idea if it's any good. And so I am behind, so which adds a little layer of stress. But I've been behind on most of the books, including, as I mentioned, The Night Shift. So I'm just hopeful that that I will pull it out as in college the night before the term papers due, and we'll be okay.
We're getting a glimpse of Alex Finlay at college. I love it.
Yeah.
Renee, thank you for that great question. Oh, she wants to know, Alex, do you also still practice law? If so, what type? Yeah, give us a scoop.
Yeah, I've been a lawyer in DC for more than 20 years, and my main practice is appellate law, which is it's just basically like writing all day, and telling stories. But in the difference between fiction and my legal practices is what I love about fiction is if the facts aren't going my way or something's not going my way in a book, I can just kill somebody or do something like that. And in the real world, you get the facts you get.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. Margaret's chiming in on the no frills thrills. I know that should be that's Alex's new tagline. I love it. Renee saying, thanks so much for all this advice. Lynn saying, so many lawyers have turned into thriller writers. It seems to be a great training ground. Would you agree with that, Alex?
Yeah, I think so. I think, if speaking of Thriller Fest, you can't go to Thriller Fest and meet a writer without, possibly bumping into a former lawyer or journalist. And I think a lot of people have, theories about why that is. My take on it is both jobs require writing. Both require creativity in their own ways. And, ultimately you're telling stories. Journalists are telling a story, and so are, at least lawyers, the practice I have. When I write a legal brief, I am telling a story. It is my client's story of, take on the case. And in appellate law, I think it's helped me as a fiction writer because, on appeal, like I get the cases after they've been through the ringer, like they've gone through a trial or they've been in the trial courts for years, and everything is, there's this massive amount of material, and my job is to condense it down into a understandable kind of bite-sized portions, if you will, compared to the record, and tell a story. And so it was good training ground for having a lot of threads, a lot of different information, and having to condense it down and keep track of it, and be able to kind of distill it down to an understandable story that somebody who has no familiarity with the case would understand. And that's kind of what I view my novels are. Is there are a lot of threads going on, there's a lot of stuff going on, but hopefully all the pieces come together, so the reader can understand where these different pieces and how they fit together come together at the end.
Ooh, that is interesting. I hadn't thought about that, and that's a really great way to explain it. Lynn, thank you so much for the great comment. Alex, thank you for the explanation. Renee saying, Alex, thank you for answering all our questions, sharing your experience and advice. Hey, you guys, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Mystery and Thriller Ravens is here to connect you to your favorite authors, introduce you to your next favorite authors, and give you that time to chat. That's what we're about here, connection. Renee is saying the interrogation room sounds really fun. It is fun. Come on over to Thriller Fest and hang out with me there, you guys. Okay, let me just see where else. What else? I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody's question. Sure. Someone else is saying they loved your book. Yes, it's so good. Renee was wondering, does your next book have a title, Alex?
Yeah, well, I'll get
If you're
your,
comfortable to share.
yeah, I am. I think, I mean, it hasn't been an approved title, but it's tentatively called If Something Happens to Me.
Ooh, I love it. Thank you for revealing that. Someone would like to know, will Sara Keller be back?
Keller will be back. Yeah, we will see. Keller is not in the next book. They are the Every Last Fear, where Keller first appeared, is in development for a streaming, series. So
oh my
Keller
God,
will be back
congratulations.
that way, assuming everything goes forward. And I'd love to see Keller come back. She's, I didn't imagine that I'd bring her back after Every Last Fear, but she just kind of appeared in the night shift, probably because I was under the gun and had 3 months to write the book, but it worked out. But I'd like to bring her back at some point, and hopefully we'll see her on the screen.
Well, I may be biased, but I happen to think that is a great name for a character. I mean, just anytime you name someone Sarah,
Yeah, you like
so much cooler. So I'm a fan.
It just elevates it.
Yeah, it really does. Thanks for understanding. So Alex, you said you wrote the night shift in only 3 months. How long does your editor usually give you to write a book? Renee is wondering. I think we all are.
Good. They give me a lot longer than that I take advantage of. Usually it's about a year, a little less than a year. When I'm on a contract for a year, I'm basically on a book a year schedule. And so, as this book comes out, I'm finishing up the next book, and it's kind of that cycle. And so it gets a little confusing, because sometimes I confuse you wouldn't think that after living with these characters and writing 350 pages of them, you'd forget things, but I get so immersed in the next book that I tend to forget the things that happened in the last one, which is why I listen to the audiobook before I go out on tour and things. But it's always just kind of a moving target for me. And I have done I do book events where sometimes I've used the use the wrong character name from the book I'm working on to talk about the current book. So I need to be a little more aware of my own, kind of work.
Interesting. Well, speaking of, here's a good question. And then I'm going to get to that next one. Barbara wants to know, so speaking of titles, if something happens to me, what have we done? Every Last Fear, The Night Shift. Were you able to choose the title of this one?
Well, this one I'd like to take credit for, because I love the title, but it was my editor. I had originally called it Reunion, and there were other books called Reunion and this or that. So I thought that it was this ongoing thing where my editor, in publishing, internally they do a presentation to their colleagues about the book that's coming out and everything. And I didn't have, I had this working title, and my editor was like, I don't know, Reunion, and I just couldn't come up with one. And, I just got a text that said, how about what have you done? We've done. And I was like, all right, I like that. That's good. And so we went with it. But I have had that Night Shift was not called The Night Shift. I had called it, I think, The Broken Places, after I have a quote at the beginning from Hemingway about the broken places. And they didn't think it was thrillery enough, and so The Night Shift came out, which I was happy with. So far the only title I have come up with is Every Last Fear, and we'll see what happens with the next one. If you see the book come out and it's not called If Something Happens to Me, then nobody liked it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we will be watching, Alex. We will be watching. So for those of you who have read What Have We Done, and for those of you who have read of Alex's other books, Alex has some creative ways to kill off characters. Renee wants to know, Alex, what is your favorite way to kill off a character? Great question.
Oh, I think for me, it's like I have been prone to kill characters that people really love, which is hard to do. In the night shift in particular, I get a lot of, at book events, people come up to me and ask me why I did, I won't, no spoilers for anybody who hasn't read it, but why I did what I did to a beloved character. And so for me, it's like, it just, the way to do it, I'm always looking for a creative way to kill somebody. In this book, I have this character who uses this contraption that they kill cattle with, that kind of, you hold in your hand and you push it and it, like a bolt comes out. Like, and so I have this character use that. I don't know where I got the idea for that. I'm from, I'm from Nebraska, so maybe that my Midwestern roots came in. But so how, just whatever I can come up with that doesn't seem like somebody else has done would be great. And who, it really depends on the story, but I kind of like to take people who maybe it's really hard to see them go. I don't know why.
Well, now you're going to be known as Kills Off Characters, Alex. Julie saying, I agree. It was terrible to kill that character.
It's funny, the character, and if anybody hasn't read the book, I had a call. My wife was like, "You can't do this," and my agent was, even my agent, who's a thriller expert, and just one of the best agent in this industry, in my view, who represents all these big authors, and she's a thriller expert, and even she was like, you sure you want to do that, because this character might be good in a later book, but it was, by then it was too late. It was done in my mind.
Unnecessarily cruel, Alex is an now contender.
Maybe.
Someone saying, I loved this one so much.
Oh,
Yay. Renee saying, what have we done is such a great title. I'm loving this backstory on the titles. Randy saying, thanks so much for sharing your evening with us, Alex. Yeah, it's been so great. You guys, I just want to remind you that we have signed books, and this is a very special thing. Not everyone does. So grab your signed book. I'm going to pop this up. Grab your signed copy, gift for yourself or for others, a signed copy of Alex's book. Here again is that link. I'm going to pop it up no matter where you're watching from, Facebook or YouTube. We're live to 7 different destinations. Here is that link. Click and order, support our favorite woman-owned bookstore, and get yourself or the thriller lover in your life the perfect signed book as a gift. Julie,
can I add to that, Sarah? I had just been in person to Murder by the Book in Houston last week. Amazing bookstore, really, bring authors in, just treat the authors, great, knowledgeable staff who understand this genre. And, it really helps them if you, purchase through them. I know there are a lot of other options, sometimes cheaper options, but you're doing a great thing for small business, and for, to support, this really legendary store and great owner and staff. So I'll throw that out.
Yay. I'm just going to be clear. I don't make a dime off this. I volunteer my time. Everything goes to the store. So we are here to support independent bookstores. We're here to support women-owned bookstores. And we're here to get you a signed book, friends, because that's what we love, is signed books. Julie says, but you did do it to make us cry, right? So I think we're talking about that character that...
Yeah, I might have. That's, again, as you know, that's my ultimate goal. So
that's your thing.
There was probably some
Alex's dark heart ain't happy if nobody's cried today.
Yes.
So yeah. Thank you guys so much. Well, we are actually over time, but I just wanted to keep going because everyone had so many questions. So you guys, once again, here is that link. Grab it, click it, order it. And Alex, since you are Book a Year Alex, please come back next year when your next book is out. Oh, we have one last question. Alex, you're on book tour right now. You just were at the store in Texas. We have signed books for those of us who aren't in Texas. Where are you going to next? Renee wants to know, do you plan on being in Southeast Florida anytime soon? Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Fort Lauderdale area.
My only Florida in-person event is at Jensen Beach. I don't know how far that is. I don't know Florida very well. I don't know how far that is from anywhere. Yeah. So I will be there not next weekend, the weekend after. Yeah, so that's Miami, Florida. I'm hoping, what I'm seeing is that the live tour is getting revitalized. I think this is the first kind of year that it's starting to take hold. Next year, hopefully even more so. But yeah, well, thank you for the question. I hope I hope it's close
And
to you.
you'll be at Thriller Fest in New York
I'll be
as
at Thrill
well.
Fest in New
And you're
York.
going to
I
be
will be,
signing
yes. And
books
my
there.
website has other places where I'll be live as well.
Okay, perfect. And you will be signing books there as well.
Yes.
Yes. So, and also speaking, so you can hear Alex share, speak about. Do you know your topic yet, Alex?
I don't know my topic yet, but you probably heard me blather on for 40 minutes. I don't know if you need more, but it'll be something, hopefully interesting.
Well, we have to have you, and plus strumming his guitar softly, so
yeah,
crooning to us. You won't want to miss that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, that is a wrap. Alex Finlay, thank you for joining us and giving us the inside scoop on what have we done. Y'all, thank you for spending this time with us and all your wonderful questions for Alex. Again, we have signed books, so exciting. And I'll be back at the top of the hour with debut author Ren DeStefano here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book, How I'll Kill You. So go get a cup of tea and a snack and come back, and I will see you then. Alex Finlay, thank you so much, and we'll see you next year, sir.
I'll see you, and I'll see you in New York. And I've been hearing great things about your next guest book, so I hope people stick around.
Yay! All right, that's a wrap. See you guys soon.